Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going? This video will be me sitting on a chair riffing for a couple of minutes. So let's get this going, shall we? I have my tea with me and I am full of things to talk about. Not really, actually. I have one topic to talk about today, guys, and it is one that kind of impacted my life for the past, let's see, 2 years now. Yeah, and it is specifically regarding my dietary preferences. So let's get this conversation going. So right around the summer of 2017, actually, I was traveling, and I had a friend recommended a documentary for me. And before watching this documentary, I had been a person that really took care of their diet in terms of what to eat, etc. So I kept it healthy. I kept it relatively balanced, let's say, when it comes to proteins, carbohydrates, or fats, etc. But one thing did majorly. One thing I focused on majorly was the amounts of each of those that I eat. And, obviously, since I wasn't really having any dietary restrictions, etc., each of those meals was or had included a animal product. And at that time, before watching the documentary specifically, I didn't think much about it, and then one day, that instant happened. I turned on the documentary actually late in the evening at 10 p.m. By 11:30 p.m., I was a changed person. Literally, within an hour and a half, I have no clue what happened in me, but watching that documentary just changed my mind completely. It is no surprise that documentary is called What the Health, if any of you guys watched it before, but the way the information was displayed in that documentary, let me just put this here, my hands are getting tired. The way the information was explained during that documentary just shifted my perspective on a lot of the things that I believed. And that just tells you how powerful just one documentary is to question everything that you have thought about or believed your whole life. And so what that documentary had for me is shaking up all the values that I had regarding eating meat. And it changed my mind completely. And so the minute I closed that laptop or whatever I was watching that documentary on, I decided to go completely vegan. Within an hour and a half, I decided that will be it for me. No more meat whatsoever. And the implications of that, I was traveling with some friends, and so I had to change up a lot of the things that I was already planning to do within the next couple of days, including where to eat, etc. And so it made it a little bit complicated. But I guess for me to explain why I was convinced it will take me another, maybe hours to talk about. But one main reason stood out for me, and I truly believe in, is the fact that the environment is really the key point here, for me, I guess. And the reason I was pushed emotionally to take that decision was because of how much harm we're doing to the environment just because we prefer to eat something over another. Anyway, so that changed my life drastically. So for the past 2 years now, I've gone through 2 years. I've been sticking to that diet. However, I did have a complication in the middle somewhere where I was not able to fully practice my diet or whatever. Anyway, that's another story as well. But I'm getting back to it now. Anything that I buy, basically, if I go to any grocery shop or cook myself, it will be completely 100% vegan. And it's not about black or white at this point. I think I'm taking more of a stance that you should be vegan, and living in a society like the UAE also, or being in my culture also has some limitations when it comes to that. So when I'm invited to my grandma and some dish, for example, has a certain amount of meat or whatever, I'll try to reject eating a large portion of it respectfully, but then rejecting it completely will be disrespectful. And so I have to also respect all these boundaries that I'm trying to explore. It does make me sort of an outsider to my own community in a sense, because we decided as a society here to just to allow meat to hijack our diet, which was not really heavy on meat or in general red meats and chicken. We were mainly pescatarians for decades or maybe centuries. Honestly, I have to do my own research into this. I didn't do much of it. However, guys, I'll stop the conversation here. I'll put it to an end. Put an end to it here, for a possible further explanation into what my diet preferences revolve around. But in general, I guess I do try to find a vegan, or I do try to avoid any animal product in terms of dairy, or even honey, which is a product that people value a lot. But then if you can find a substitute to something like honey that gives you equally the same quality or taste or something, why not take it, right? Anyway, guys, I'll leave you with this today. Hope you enjoyed a talk with Abdul. It's like a little conversation, more like a monologue actually. There's no conversation, there's no back and forth. But have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow.